I've only got about 5 or 6 sites to show here. It's just what I've got left in my albums. I've got nothing left after this. This site here, I haven't. That's not my writing there in the bottom corner either. But if you look outside this temple, first time I saw this, I thought it might have been the walls of a structure, but as I thought about it, you can see how this thing and sites like this are on top of a mountain. They said they leveled a mountain and then built these structures. It literally looks like a top tier, a flooring, you know, like you put floorboards down and then you build higher. That everything's been knocked down, and whatever this mountain is built of is basically the rest of this structure. I just find that interesting, whether or not it was something like I'm showing here. This is the only site, the only image I have shown you before the name's there. And the thing was spectacular when I saw it, but I found a few more of the same site I've never seen before, so I'm showing you. But we can see how the side walls and the roof, which I will show closer, were made, bolted into position, and what it's turned into now, it looks like the side walls may have collapsed down. You can see how the floor runs into the wall, and it's just an imprint. This next image is at the back. You can see it's the same area. This shows you the roof better and what it was made from. But this image is a decent close-up of what this thing is, and you can see that it was indeed made. Whether or not it's made of wood, it was made of wood or metal, it's hard to say, but it's all turned into ash and mud. This image gives you an idea what it might have been. I just think it's spectacular. This site here was the original reason for the video, and I've just ended up expanding on it. There's a few interesting areas, like this roof. If you look where the arrows are pointing there, it's similar to the site at Porcina that I was interested in, you know, what the roof was made of. You can see how all these squares are lined up. So whether or not this was a flat roof or not, but that is indeed an imprint of what it was built from. It's just mud rock what you're looking at there, ash mud rock. This, I suppose, is the main area of this site because there's not much of it. It's all buried under the sand from the flood. But we are going to be moving into that crevice, I suppose, and we'll have a look at a few things that will show you, that will prove to you that it is built. It's just an imprint of what it was built from. I suppose we're looking at the top area, which has since fallen away. I think this next image shows you, yes it does, that lump there has since fallen away, and look, I can't really make out what's going on, but it just looks like a big locking piece, you know, like a huge door section. It's difficult to explain now, you know, because I've had my camera pinched. I can't point things out to you in detail. I have to do it like this. This next image is inside that crevice, and you see the little cut out V sections. That appears to be where some type of door, you know, was attached. Anyway, this next image is right at the back of what we are calling the crevice, and obviously archaeologists have since relaid some of the fallen blocks, plates, to cover up a hole which I'm going to show you now. I know it looks like the light is coming straight at it at an angle, but I just think it's coming through the top. It's just lighting the area, but that's directly under the site. It's not a tomb, it's just some passageway, and the rest will be below it. Okay, this next image is further back from the same site, and if you look in the bottom right corner, we can see what used to cover the concrete blocks, some type of cladding or wooden, something. You can see how it was bolted or nailed into position, but it's all just turned into the same material. This next image is showing you how some of the stuff was connected in the same way we do today, with plastic seals, plastic links. They always tell you that it was copper. Very little of it will have been copper. Okay, but when you look at this next one here, I've got a close-up on the same section. You can see how, how I say how line it gets sucked to the outside when it's been in a flood. I've even shown you sites from recent times that were submerged just for a couple of months, and the same thing happened to them. But this just looks like silt. I don't know what these things were made from. It's difficult to distinguish for me sometimes exactly what we're looking at. If it's something's turned into silt, mud rock, or if it's concrete cement which has turned into sandstone or limestone. But if it is that, it gets sucked to the outside. Sometimes it's the sandstone that gets sucked to the outside, and you're just left with a solid lump of limestone instead. But this image here shows you, I suppose it just looks like woodwork. It will have been some of the roofing, I suppose. And then the final image on this site, this Belevi site I'm showing you now, you can see, I will zoom in on it for you, why I think it's silt, and why this will have been wood, carved wood, and it's just saturated, petrified wood. It's just completely soaked up silt and nothing but. You can see that. Okay, so there is just one more part on this video that I do want to talk about, and it's the same area that we've just been looking at just now. On top of the section I've just shown you, and if you look at the cross section on the right hand side of this structure, you can see what looks like a cross beam, because that is indeed what it is, and it's now mud rock. It's just the exact same thing I was showing in my dolmen videos. Yes, it's just an imprint of what the roof was built from. It's petrified saturated wood. It's pretty obvious. This next artifact shows you exactly what went into building this, and you can see, I mean, it's wood, it's woodwork, no different to how we do it today. You can see how it was put together, glued together, fitted together. That's exactly what you're looking at, and that's all I want to say on this video.